Hello, class. Today we are going to add that wonderful watercolor paint to our project. So what you want to do is get your watercolors, your water, your brush, and I always like to have a little piece of paper towel next to me just in case. And you, of course, want your finished pastel mug ready to go. And so we are going to enjoy painting this. Whatever you end up doing on this is your art. It will turn out great. So just enjoy the process. Think about your colors. Maybe think about, let's look at this one, how you would want to treat it. Now, in this case, with my wallpaper, if I wanted a lot of contrast and a lot of pop, I would add blue to my orange because those are complementary colors. If I want it more restful, I might do something more analogous like yellow or red up here in the wallpaper. So those are choices that you can make based on how you want your piece to finish. Let's talk about the tablecloth. With blue, of course, we now know orange is complementary, but I may want it to be more restful and I might do it in a green or purple. Okay, so that's some choices that I have for that. My mug, because I went with purple, yellow will really make it pop. So I definitely think I'm going to use yellow. But I might add some purple into it too to pull things, or orange. It's really hard to say, but definitely yellow would make that pop. So these are choices that you're kind of making prior to jumping in. And again, have fun with it. So let's turn the cameras around and we will visualize Mrs. Durst trying to make this one a success. So of course, with your watercolors, you always want to get them charged up by adding a wee bit of water in the colors that you think you're going to use. Sometimes I just go through and do it all. Definitely give your brown a little water because you're going to fill your cup up with hot chocolate with the brown. Okay, so I'm going to start with my wallpaper. And I love stripes. Stripes just make me so happy. So I think I'm definitely going to go with that contrast. So I'm going to mix in some blue. And I think I'm going to put the blue over this. Now I want you to see how that oil pastel is resisting my watercolor paint. Do you see how you can still see that orange dot, even though I painted right over it? And you can see that some of my dark blue paint is beating up on top of that orange dot created with oil pastel. That is its hydrophobic properties. And so when I dab it off, I get a pure orange dot, which really looks cool. So I'm going to mess with the watercolor blue paint all through my wallpaper, okay? These stripes with the dots will be my blue. Now, please make sure you eat up all the white paint. This piece does not look good with a lot of white showing through. The color is really what makes this pop. So that's what I'm going to do in the wallpaper. I think I'll do a blue stripe and an orange stripe. Excuse me. So I will finish this off in a pattern: blue, orange, blue, orange, blue, orange. Okay. Now let's talk about my mug. I'm going to really want this to pop. So I'm rinsing my brush out madly over here. And I'm going in with yellow. I'm going for the full contrast, the full pop for this one. And I'm going to paint my mug with some yellow and some orange. I'm going to just enjoy the process of mixing some paints. But again, see how I can paint right up and on that line? And it really loves me to paint on that line, but I can still see my full on purple. That's the neat thing about this process. This is called watercolor resist, and it really makes some cool things happen. So I'm gonna mix like some orange into my yellow here and just enjoy making this cup look kind of crazy. Okay, there we go. Again, there's really no wrong way to do this. All right, so I've started something here. So I'm gonna go in and use some dark purple, I think. Hope I can find it there. And maybe add a little dark purple. Maybe these will be dark purple. Yeah, we'll just do a little bit of this. And again, I'm eating up all that white. We certainly don't want any white showing through our brush strokes. So I'm going to do a little dark purple, and I think I'm going to then come over here and use a little turquoisey blue or some, yeah, something like that. Yeah, that looks good. So again, I'm just trying to find colors that I think will be awfully pretty on this. So I did this. So my diamonds will be blue and purple. So I'm just gonna color those in to kind of replicate what's up here on the mug. Like these are a match set, more or less. And I think I'm gonna do a line of this bluish purple up here. And maybe a little dark purple here. Yeah. A lot of rinsing because I'm going between light and dark colors, and I can muddy up my yellow pretty quick with some purple. So my idea is to try really hard to keep my paints as clean as they possibly can. If you really get a muddied problem, what I would suggest is running your paint pot under some water, like running water from a faucet, and that will clean out your yellow paint. And then you just kind of set it aside and let it firm up again. So I have some streaking going on. That means some purple is bleeding into my yellow. I don't mind. I think that makes it look hand done, and I think that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to take an orange bit of paint around my area there. And I'm going to brush in some orange here and here. So my cup is coming together. Woo! So another thing, if you don't like that your paint is mixing, you can come in with your paper towel while the paint is still wet and dab it a bit and move it back to where it needs to be. Okay, and that is perfectly fine. All right, I'm just gonna finish my yellowy orange cup with extreme contrast to my purple, just like that. All right, and I believe for my tablecloth, I'm gonna go with a yellow to green blend. So I think I'm gonna start down here for yellow and move back to green. I think that'll give it a lot of interest. So I think I'm gonna start here with some yellow. Okay. And when I do a blend, your colors need to be close to each other on the color wheel. So yellow and green sit right next to each other. Okay, and that's the idea. And that's why this will work. So yellow down here in a corner. Okay, And I go up beyond where I want my green to start because there's going to be a piece of my tablecloth that will be blending both green and yellow together. Okay, so I'm going up past where I want my green to come. Okay, so that's a good beyond half point. I'm going to take this back here. All right, so with a blend, look how cute those flowers look with the yellow. Oh, I love it. They look adorable. Okay, so now I'm going to take this limey green here, and I'm going to start that back here. Okay, the idea is they're going to blend together eventually. So I'm going to paint my tablecloth back here in this limey green. Don't forget the hole in your cup handle. Okay, I'm going to take this all the way down to where my yellow will live. Okay, now I get my paint pretty fluid because now they will blend. Here's some more yellow, and the green will blend into that yellow with a little help of water, just like so. And I'm going to do a little up here with some water and some green and blend that as well. And that's how you get that fade of color. Again, you need to use colors that are close next to each other on the color wheel for that to work really well. And here's how it blends. Can you see that? There's a bright green that blends into the yellow like that. Now, since these are watercolors, you really need to let them rest flat until it's completely dry. But I'm going to raise mine up so that we can see which movie this is. I keep myself straight. So next, when you finish all your watercolor, the next thing you need to do is make the inside of your cup brown. This is the hot chocolate. So paint, your last thing that you paint is the brown right here inside the cup. And then let everything dry. And then we are going to put on some steam in the next video. So make sure your piece is dry before you bring in your glue and fiber fill. Okay, until then, enjoy, keep painting.